The Rze Fortitude Pilot came out back in 2021, and at the time it was quite a departure from the style of watches Rze was producing. Like most of the Rze lineup, it was a titanium case, hard-coated, and had a unique dial. And now Rze has taken the Fortitude and added a GMT function, courtesy of the Miyota 97.5 True GMT movement. Four colors are available, and as you can see, this one is the teal dial with yellow accents, and yes, that means this one is part of the summer series. I felt with this dial color and it being a rugged and tough watch, along with being a GMT, it would be perfect for summer style or summer adventures. There are three other colors, a black, a crimson red, and a workbench model that is all black DLC with a black dial and gray hands. Pricing starts at $699, and this is the same 41mm Fortitude case in all titanium with a textured teal dial. Let's check it out. Like the previous version, the Rze Fortitude does have an Oris Pro Pilot look about it. There's not really any way around that, but it is a true homage in the way that it is far from a clone or copy. And now this model gets updated to a GMT, and this time, like many brands, is using the Miyota 97.5 True or Traveler's GMT movement, which I have now covered here quite extensively over the past year. You can see all the specifications on screen, and I believe this is pretty much the same case and bracelet as the three-hand version, though this one does have a new updated clasp with the on-the-fly push button extension. Now, with that said, that this is still the same case and bracelet, I do feel this entire watch feels more refined. I don't know if I'm imagining it, but everything looks and feels better. It feels a little bit more smooth to the touch, better machined and finished. It's been a few years since the last one I reviewed, so maybe my mind is just playing tricks on me, but either way, this watch does look and feel very good. The look is unique. Even though it takes inspiration from the Pro Pilot and the Pro Pilot X, Rze definitely added their own spin on it with the very large crown with the massive aluminum anodized red crown stem, which not only looks great in terms of aesthetic, but also function. And the large crown just works with the style of case design, and it doesn't feel out of place. There is also the contoured lugs and the way the end links match up into the case and have a really great fit to the lugs for a good transition and a nice flow into the bracelet. The case and bracelet, crown, etc. are all grade 2 titanium still and hard coated, but more on that in a bit. That prominent turbine bezel is still here as well, which fits within the Pilot watch theme. The dial is what gets the biggest change, but it's not a massive change either. Now, obviously, you get a fourth hand, the GMT hand, but it still retains that gravel texture dial, the crosshairs, and a date at the 6 o'clock position. The hour and minute hand stay the same, but now, of course, because of the movement, that hour hand can be set independently, so you can set it to your destination time the moment you land, and now you have that Aero GMT hand as your home time. And back to the date, I have to say I love that they color matched the date to the GMT hand on all these models and that they kept it at 6 o'clock. But I am a little torn if I like this new execution of the cutout or if I prefer the previous model with like a stadium circle cutout. The teal dial is beautiful, and it's a gradient dial and a sandwich dial as well. And because we have the GMT complication, the 24-hour numbers that were previously around the inside circumference of the dial have now been moved to the chapter ring, and now we have 5-minute increment numbers in its place. I like how they switched it around, yet kept the same, or I guess I should say expanded the functionality without ruining the original vibe this watch had. And no, I didn't forget about this being part of the summer series. There's just a lot to talk about here. But yes, this color combo, teal and yellow, is perfect for summer. And since this watch has a screw-down crown, 100 meters of water resistance, and these beautiful colors, I think it would be a great watch for summer adventures if you are looking for a watch with some bright colors. And if teal is not your thing, Rze does have standard black, the workbench all black, And easily, my other favorite besides this teal would be the crimson red dial, as man, that just looks great. Earlier I said I would expand upon the ultra hex coating, and this is not the first time I have mentioned this either, with RZE or others who use this hard coating on their watches. I think to an extent your watch will hold up to scratches a little bit better than ones without, and even if you get a scratch, they will be less deep than a non-coated watch. But something I noticed after taking pictures of this piece is that the case back is not hard coated, as you can see by the scratch marks on the back, which came from the clasp of the watch. Now, I'm not sure why you would hard coat the entire watch and not the case back, and I can hear what some of you are saying. Well, why are you letting the clasp touch the back? Well, it's almost impossible for it to not when you're taking certain pics or video shots, and more importantly, this is not a Fabergé egg. It's a tough tool watch, and many people that are not watch enthusiasts, they're not putting the watch on a watch pillow all the time, or they pop off the clasp or pop the lugs so they can lay the watch down flat on a surface. And while it is the case back, and I don't really mind some scuffs and scratches, it's practically a new watch, and this was done with just the photography. If you were to be wearing this watch on either a strap or a bracelet and it came off and it hit the ground, dirt, tile, whatever, it's going to get pretty scratched up on a watch that has a hard coating everywhere else. So maybe it's just me. Let me know what you think about that down in the comments. The bracelet still has that great look and feel about it, and it uses screws for easy sizing. And like I said, it now has the updated clasp that many brands are using with the on-the-fly push button adjustment. And this works just as nicely as the others do, allowing you to really dial in that perfect fit on the fly, especially when it's hot or cold out and your bracelet feels a little loose or a little too tight. And on the wrist, this is a very comfortable watch, especially at only around 120 grams in total weight due to it being titanium. And that large 8mm crown doesn't dig into the back of my hand, something I know I was worried about on the first iteration of the Fortitude. My wrist is 7.5 inches or 19.05 centimeters, and I took out 3 links to fit my wrist. And lastly, we have the lume. And I have to note here that I feel the lume on the hour and minute hand is not as bright as everything else on the dial. And with that said, and I know it may not make sense, but they glow better in real life than the camera picks up, even though that they are not as bright as the sandwich markers. This is the second GMT watch from RZE, the first being the Fortitude GMT, which I did review as well, but that one used the NH34 GMT movement, so I was kind of surprised that RZE did not update that model and put the 97.5 in it with some new dial design and colors. But it also makes sense that if you have a Pilot watch in your collection, that you can make that one a true GMT, and that is of course what they did. All in all, it's a damn good watch that retains all the great characteristics of the first, but now with a GMT and a few new dial colors and that updated clasp. For those that are loving the 97.5 GMTs, this is another great option to choose from, and like I have been saying for years, RZE continues to impress. If you want to see more, I will have a written article on watchreport.com, and you can head over to the RZE website. Both links are in the description below. And we are not done with the summer series yet. We have a few more colorful and fun pieces lined up, so make sure you are subscribed and you have notifications on. As usual, I want to hear from you, so let me know what you think of the Rze Fortitude GMT down in the comments below. This is Don Evans from Watch Report. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.